The old man in the dock is one of America's most prolific rapists and murderers. His stare unflinching as girls and young women he attacked 4 decades ago addressed him in court. The horrors he inflicted on them, undiminished by the passage of time.
I still sleep with 2 phones and the keys on the bed when my husband is away.
One woman, identified as Peggy, described being home with her sister at just 15 years old when DeAngelo struck.
I was hit several times on the head before being tied up, gagged, and blindfolded. We were both threatened, and I was raped multiple times. We were both left with numbness in our hands for several months because our wrists were bound so tight. It hurt to brush my hair because he had hit me so many times on the head.
Joseph DeAngelo was in his 70s when he was unmasked as a former police officer, a husband, father, grandfather, finally identified after a DNA match 2 years ago. He's pleaded guilty to killing 13 women and raping nearly 50 more in Sacramento, California in the 1970s and 80s. Victim after victim described his torture and torment.
My safety was shattered as a masked man, DeAngelo, yielding a knife, told me he would kill me if I didn't do what he demanded. He raped me repeatedly, moving me in and out of the house after each time. He made himself comfortable in my home, and he stole my family's personal belongings as I lay helpless, or sat tied, gagged, blindfolded, and naked.
There are dozens more attacks too old to be prosecuted, and he's outlived some of the women whose lives he haunted.
My mother told me that day when he was caught, she was going to look him into the eyes and testify to what he had done to her, to my father, and to our family. Unfortunately, she did not get to see that day in court. She died the day before Mother's Day in 2016.
Some say DeAngelo is feigning frailty to win sympathy. Under a plea deal, he faces no death penalty, but life in prison, after inflicting a life sentence on so many young women and girls. Sally Lockwood, Sky News, Los Angeles.